And welcome everybody to episode 9 of the Shadow Collective, a Star Wars podcast. I am Darth Eldor once again, here with my good friends Swampgrass and Andy Beats. How's it going, guys?
Not too bad. Not too bad.
Hello, going good.
Hello. Hello.
So, I know we missed a week, but a lot of good stuff going on here. So, we have finally gotten to the ACOLYTE, and we're going to talk about that later, obviously, but definitely excited about that. But,
Indeed.
let's start by getting into some news. I know there's not a lot going on, but, let's get into it. One of the big things that I saw over the last couple of weeks, a video had come out from a lady called Star Wars Meg, and I don't know her that well. I don't really know her material that well, but one of the things it said right away was official first look at the skeleton crew, and it wasn't much, but it was a couple of pictures that we hadn't seen, and it was a look at the children. And it was very interesting look, because I mean, you saw one of the kids basically looked like cyborg implants. A couple of them just looked like regular children, and then we had another one that looked like an Otolin, which is basically the same species as Max Rebo from the band, and it was like, oh, that's interesting. So, I mean, it's kind of cool to see that we're getting at least a little bit of a look at what's going on. I mean, we still don't have a look at any of the big characters yet. We don't have anything from Jude Law. We don't have anything from I still can never think of his name. The guy who plays Urkel.
Jaquil White.
Thank you.
Yeah. We can't say Urkel, whatever. Like,
it's not like people don't know who he is. Yeah, but it was kind of interesting because it's like we still haven't seen any of that yet. But just to look at that, I mean, it kind of almost revives my hype a little bit for this, for what we're starting to see. It's like we haven't heard anything in so long. It's like you kind of almost forget that it's happening. And it's something that they're still talking about coming out at the end of the year. So, I don't know. It's what I saw. What do you guys think about this so far? I'm not sure if you guys have to see it.
I mean, yeah, I actually quickly glanced at it because I forgot to look at it when we posted in our chat, but I quickly looked at it, and like most of the stuff, like you said, like there's, a nice, visual of what the kids are going to look like, and there's actually a droid as well, I believe. There's some silver ingot, what is it, silver ingot, or like whatever it was, and then it had the kids in the front, and then it had this droid in the back, so I'm assuming that either the droid is probably like a caretaker on the ship or something that they're traveling on, or somebody that they cross paths with as the journey goes on through the episodes or whatever. But it was it's a new look at a droid. Like, I mean, obviously it has a couple similarities to a few droids that have been around for a bit, but you always have to have a droid, right? There's always there always should be a droid, and they usually provide the comedic relief a little bit, and all that stuff, right? But the differences between the kids, like you can see there's two like normal looking ones, but I'm guessing one might be human, one might be some from another planet or whatever, and then you have one that has that visor looking cybernetic thing over their eyes. That kind of resembles Geordi from Star Trek or whatever, or what is it, Lobo? No, not Lobo. He's the one from
Yeah, there is somebody in
Oh,
Star
Loda,
Wars,
yeah.
but in this video, she does go into depth about these things, and we know that this is actually not a cybernetic implant or anything. It's something that is removed because in the what's it called? The look that we got at Celebration, like not us, but the people who were there and got to have that like sneak peek. There's a clip from that where you actually see her eyes, so
Okay.
we know at some point it is removable. But yeah, she goes into quite a bit of depth in this video on you know, sort of speculations on what these characters could be and stuff like that. So it's
Yeah.
pretty cool. I don't remember all of it, but I remember watched it a couple weeks ago when we posted it.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
when Elder posted it.
I don't know. And like, yeah. So, and also the Max Rebo looking child. What's the name of the species again? Elder?
Oh, the Orderland.
Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, we got a little bit of glimpse, but still, we're still waiting for something, you know, something bigger than this. I mean, it's a nice start, but there's still, you know, some stuff that we would like to see. You know, a trailer sometime soon here would be nice, but it's definitely a good start, I guess. You know.
Yeah, it's like I said. I mean, as far as I know, it's still supposed to come out towards the end of this year. So, I mean, if this is our start, it's a nice one. I mean, like I said, somewhere along the line, I would also like to see something from a look of Jude Law, what he's going to look like in this series, and maybe some idea of some of the scapes of where we're going to be going, or just a little bit of something. But I mean, I know it's coming. I know. Be patient. You'll get what you're waiting for. But I mean, like I said, it's kind of revitalized that a little bit. So it's like now I'm excited to see it again, and it's like now I kind of want to see more, especially now that we're at the ACOLYTE and that's going to be done in a couple weeks.
Yeah, I mean it's true though. Like you kind of did forget about Skeleton Crew because there hasn't been much going on about it. So like it is kind of like a refresher, like a reminder. Oh yeah, it is coming out. Okay, right on, right on. So here's a little bit more stuff. Okay, all right, cool. Keep them
Yeah,
coming.
and
Keep it coming.
in our last episode, we had that article too that that claimed that it will be coming out sometime around Christmas time, but didn't really come with much information. So yeah, any little bit that we get helps create a little hype, feel a bit better about it.
And I'm sure in July we'll get another little tiny piece of it too. Here's some visuals of the planets that they're going to be on.
Yeah.
or the ship that they're going to be flying around in space with.
Here's a random creature that will be in the show.
Here's a new Gonk droid.
Oh, ooh, hype.
Gonky 2! Gonky 2!
Gonky 2, it's his baby. It's
Yeah.
his grandson.
I can see the campaign already. Bring back Gonky 2.
Yeah.
Or imagine they have a trailer and it shows like these kids like buying a droid from Omega, and it's a Gonk droid.
Oh boy.
Swamp going, no, it can't be. It can't be.
It is!
The lore expands. Let's go.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Alright, so yeah, like I said, I mean not much there, but just a little something to latch on to just to get the hype built back up. And hopefully we'll see some more soon. But yeah, let's get into the next one. Anybody want to cover the next one, or?
Oh yeah.
Let's see here. Yeah, I'll take this one. So, Star Wars, Jar Jar Binks. So this is an article from IGN.com. Star Wars Jar Jar Binks actor Ahmed Best wants to make a Jedi John Wick with his the Mandalorian character. So the Star Wars actor Ahmed Best, who first played Jar Jar Binks in the prequel, but more recently Jedi Master Kelleran Beck in The Mandalorian, wants to make a film that's essentially Jedi John Wick. he was talking to Comic Book. Said his brief appearance in The Mandalorian, where his character helped young Grogu escape sixth attack on the Coruscant Jedi Temple, was just a tiny fraction of what he wants to make. He says, "I want to do a Jedi John Wick as Colin Beck, and I don't even need to say any words," Best said, referring to minimal dialogue in the John Wick films. "I just want to do 2 hours of lightsabers and people in the way. I really want to do something like that because the fight that I did for The Mandalorian is 1/10 of 1% of what I could do, and there's so much more." I think this would be pretty cool to watch. I think.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Where do I even start with this? Where do I even start with it?
I mean, who doesn't like John Wick? Okay, like John Wick is great.
That's why I don't know where to start with this.
I know, right? Yeah.
Also, too, he has a pretty good point in the next part of the article. I'll just do like a quick summary of it. Basically, he's saying his martial arts that he does is like a Filipino style, and a lot of the previous Jedi, Jedi action scenes are more Japanese samurai influence, and the Filipinos, in his estimation, were the better warriors. They defeated the samurai and all these kind of things.
Filipinos beat the samurai.
Yeah, so he's very seems very anxious to bring his his kung fu to the Jedi world as we know it. So
I mean,
pretty interesting.
The first thing that's popping into my head, obviously, he brings up John Wick, but first thing that pops into my head when he says this is, I don't know if you guys have seen the movie Kill Bill, Volume 1.
A while ago, yeah.
Yeah, but there's a scene where basically she goes into this like restaurant or this like bathhouse, and she takes on like 80 to 90.
88.
Yeah, the crazy 88s, and basically it's just like a 20-minute long sword fight with her against like 88 guys, and she beats the snot out of all of them. And that's kind of what's going through my head right now. And part of me is saying to myself, what Jedi would do this at all? And then there's a small part of me that's saying, oh yeah, I can't wait, let's go.
Gotta get our first rated R Star Wars movie.
Yeah, I mean, well, the Order 66 is kind of perfect for that because it's like kill or be killed, right? So
that's true.
yeah, kind of creates that very hostile environment where this kind of thing could exist.
I mean, I could see something like that where, I mean, he gets holed up somewhere, like trying to protect Grogu, and during Order 66, and here they come, and there he goes, and I don't know if you can make 90 minutes to 2 hours of that non-stop without talking, without anything. But there's a small part of me that's like, God, I really hope you try, because I want to see this.
Well, that's
I
another
can't help
thing too.
it.
Generally, movies from that genre are not 2 hours, so that's part of it too. Like Shoot 'Em Up, John Wick, all these movies are like just under 2 hours.
Yeah. But even 90 minutes of that, it's like,
right?
My God, it's like on one side, it's like you can't do it, and yet on the other side, it's like, oh my God, if you guys don't try, I'm gonna. Are you kidding me? What are you waiting for? So
I just wonder how much pull he has right now to do that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of creative liberty being taken by an actor. But then again, like these guys that do their own stunt choreography and stuff like that, I'm sure they do have a lot of creative liberty.
Oh, I'm sure he does, yeah, for sure.
I mean, look, I'm sure, yeah. God, yeah, I can't take that out of my head now. It's like I borderline really want to see this. But
Yeah, it could be pretty awesome.
Could work. It could work.
Yeah.
I just don't
It
know what
worked in
else.
John Wick.
Yeah,
They made 4 films out of it, man. Like,
Yeah.
and it gets
Yeah,
more.
plus they're making they made a sequel as well. Like, things are coming out of it, so it could happen.
Yeah, they ended up making a whole universe of lore and everything out of that John Wick, which was kind of surprising to me. I didn't
Yep, it
expect that
was.
at all.
And there's still
Yeah.
more stuff coming out. That's the scary part
Oh,
of
yeah.
that. I mean,
Yeah, there's that show Continental that's on Prime, I want to say.
they got another movie coming out this summer called Ballerina, and it's one of the women that was in one of the John Wick movies, and she's an assassin just like he is, and now she's gonna go do her thing. And it's all in the same universe. And it's just like, are you kidding me? But I mean, not that I'm trying to go off on that kind of a tangent, but if you apply that same tangent to Star Wars, I can't see it not happening.
Yeah, the biggest drawback there would be, of course, the connection with Disney and whether or not Disney wants to be involved in that type of project, I suppose.
I mean, the one thing I have to say is, if you're going to do this, and I'll stop after this, I think you almost have to do this along with. It would have to be something Order 66 to really make it work, because nothing else would explain that amount of people coming at you.
Yeah, and the level of hostility for the Jedi just to let loose like that would have to be a high level of threat.
And that's the other thing. If they're going to do this, at the same time, you've got to show something with this guy fighting the urge to fall to the dark side while he's doing it.
Right.
I mean, because Jedi just don't kill for no reason. And the inordinate amount of killing that this guy's going to have to do in this movie for 2 hours. Yeah, I mean, you've got to be familiar with the dark side by that point.
Yeah, that wouldn't be too hard to do either, because, like, you know, some of the, you know, have some scene where he's, like, about to, like, somebody that he's already disarmed, like, about to kill them, and then, like, holds back, and then kind of, you know, just add something there where it makes it kind of noticeable, and then move on.
Yeah. But I'll stop there.
But it's kind of like same with you know, how they've done that in the past, like with Luke. It's not like they're full on like explaining that he's fighting the dark side. You just see a little you know, menacing look on his face when he chokes the dude at the, you know, the palace gates, and then, you know,
Well,
move
yeah,
on from
like I
there.
said, it doesn't have to be like a prolonged, like 5 minutes of watching him fight it. I mean, you just gotta make sure that they're showing stuff that shows he's fighting it.
Yeah.
But
Sure. So yeah, it could be really interesting. Hopefully, Disney and Star Wars decide to at least try something along this vein. That'd be pretty cool.
yeah,
Yeah, Disney, we're on board, man.
Yep, we like it.
I mean, we probably, if anything is to happen, won't see it until like 2030 or after that, because
Yeah.
all the time slots
yeah.
up to like
yeah, definitely.
2027, 2028. It's kind of well taken. Like, you know, it's
Yeah, and the
these
amount of
plans.
projects that seemed pretty cool that just got thrown out the window too.
Right.
I'm sure
Yeah.
you know it's pretty competitive space, I suppose we'll call it.
So you better have pull, bud.
Yeah. I wonder if TW is paying attention to this.
They probably asked him. He probably like to go ask him to write it for him or something.
May-
EW.
Yeah, there's a name I didn't think we ended up pulling up today.
Oh.
I felt like we haven't
What's her
said it
face-
in a
what's her
while.
face is up there now.
Yeah,
LH.
yeah, it's been a while. It has been a while.
Or LH now.
I feel like we haven't talked about him in a while, and
So
this
you had to
seems
bring 'em up.
something. This feels like something a little bit artistic that could be in his realm if he chose it to be.
Yeah, just pick some paint and throw it all onto it.
Yeah,
Paint it
every
all these
time he.
different colors and
Yeah, instead of like having the killing be like blood, since we know Disney doesn't love blood, have like crazy splashes of paint coming out of them, and have it like
It's a lightsaber. It's a lightsaber. It cauterizes. There's no blood.
Oh my gosh, yeah. It
That's true,
cauterizes.
that's
There is no blood.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right, let's move on. Let's do the next one.
Oh. What's the Star Wars Hunters?
Oh yeah.
Whichever
that
one you
next?
want to do, because I mean, basically,
Is that an article?
it's not really an article.
Oh, there is. Oh, it's a small, little, tiny, like.
Yeah,
I
just
So, okay, well, what does everybody think overall of the Star Wars Hunters game? Star Wars Hunters came out earlier than expected, right? It's supposed to come out
Yes.
June 24th, and it came out.
Was it Tuesday?
This past week.
Yeah, same day as ACOLYTE. Same
So,
day.
yeah, so obviously we're all playing it, and we're all apparently loving it so far. But what kind of stuff do you guys like about the game? And is there things that we don't like about the game?
So far, I like the pace. I mean, I don't feel like I'm being rushed into anything. I just feel like it feels like something I don't have to play 35 games of it in a row. I can just like pick it up, play a game, put it down. But I'm gonna have fun while I'm playing it. It's just so far I'm having a good time playing it. I mean, it's like I said, I'm still in the first character, and I'm having a ton of fun with that character.
Yeah.
So, I mean, eventually I'm going to try them all. Eventually I'm going to look at everything. But as far as right now, yeah, I'm just happy with where I am.
Yeah, seems like a really fun game. Same thing, like you were saying, like no like set time commitment like some of the other mobile games that we play, where it's like, you better be on there every day, getting your dailies, or else you're gonna miss out and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. It doesn't have that kind of feel, so a little bit more casual, but also just a fun feel to it. I enjoy playing it quite a bit so far.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. It's I agree with all of that. And for me, there's one negative for me because I'm not much of a gamer where I have to use my phone as joysticks. So for me, that whole feel is a little bit more difficult for me to do. We have added it on our Switch, which you can add it to your Switch. I think it's only Switch and mobile. I think right now. Right?
Yeah, right now.
I don't know if they're adding anything else to it, but later on. But for now, so we added it on our Switch at the house. My kids my younger kid loves it. He's been playing it, and I have still been playing it on my phone, but I do want to try it on the Switch, which I haven't done yet. Plus, I'm pushing to try on my computer as well with the Dex Samsung Dex thing that we have that can mirror the game onto the PCs. So
that we can live stream it.
We can
Let's
live stream
go.
it hopefully, and trying to figure out some sort of way to try to get us all on to play.
Yeah, like I said, I'm gonna try with BlueStacks as well. See how that works. Because I know you can adapt joysticks into BlueStacks. So it should work out. That being said, there is one negative I did have. When I did switch over to the Switch, the one thing I did notice was the right joystick. I really had to turn the sensitivity down.
Oh yeah.
Because
Yeah, they do have yeah, I feel like that's something that is fairly normal for those because different people are gonna have different levels of
Well,
reaction time to it and stuff like that, right?
well, it's funny because when I played on the phone, I felt like the right thumb was just right the way it was, and then suddenly it's like
That's right.
And then suddenly I sat there and I switched over to the Switch. And it's like I kind of barely moved the joystick. And it's like he did a 360. I'm like, what the what?
Yeah,
It's
I
like-
might have to turn that down a bit. But yeah, luckily they do have the ability for you to do that and control the sensitivity to exactly what you what works best for you.
Yeah, once I got it down, it was okay. But that's just a warning out to people that haven't played it yet. If you're gonna switch over to the Switch, keep in mind you might have to turn that down a little bit just to keep it where you need it.
Yeah, I do find when you look at the main screen, the main menu, I find too there's a lot. Like you have to sit there and look. There's
A lot to
going
take
on.
in.
There's a lot
Yeah.
to take in on that screen, so that
It's true.
it's like it's just coming at you everywhere. So like, oh my gosh, what am I looking at? What am I looking
Yeah,
at?
especially at the beginning because they're giving you like small bits of customizations that are all over the game, so you have to go into like separate menus to look at each thing, and it's it's quite a bit at first for sure.
But overall, yeah, I think we're all enjoying it, right? So it's
Yeah.
Yeah,
nice start. See what they continue with it. I'm sure there'll be other things added to the game, and hopefully more characters added down the road, and
Yeah.
hopefully so, it looks like the community as well. Like it looks like people are kind of taking it in a positive way too, right?
Nice.
There's a few people. There's a little bit of people playing it now, and I haven't seen many people streaming it though. Although I'm looking at Urge right now on Twitch, and he's playing it.
Yeah,
I was
Urz
gonna
has
say
been
there's-
streaming it ever since it came out. It seems
Okay,
like.
okay.
I was gonna
It's
say
going
I also
pretty heavy.
noticed mainly the people I've seen, it's like more foreign country. It's like people I've
Right.
heard a couple of Russian people,
Well-
Spanish, but like only one or two Americans that are playing it. And I missed
That's just
theirs.
it. Is this game is like been out for like well over a year in early access, so some of the people that are streaming it today could have been people that have been playing it for over a year as well, especially in those other countries where
Yeah.
early access might have been more available for them or whatever.
Yeah.
Like for us, we could have done it if we got a whatever it's called, like an APK thing that masks your location.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah, but I didn't think it was a game I was gonna like it anyway because it's
Yeah.
not my genre of game really. So the fact that I'm really liking it that much that right now really says a lot for the game.
That says a lot then.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I wonder how you guys know how Urz plays on it? Does he play it on his phone, or is he playing?
I haven't actually tuned in to check it out. I know he does like open lobbies and people can join him and stuff, like because
Yeah.
I've seen that in his title, but I haven't seen logged in to see what method he's using for broadcasting.
I'll have to take a look.
Yeah.
All right. So, anybody else want to bring up about
I think
this?
that's pretty straightforward with the game. We'll probably talk about it a little bit more as it goes on, maybe like as
Yeah,
it's
we're
going on.
probably gonna try to for anybody that's watching, listening, we're probably going to try to get together and have the three of us play the game together here on this channel. So look forward to that, guys. If we
gotta
can figure it out.
first,
Yeah. Yeah. If we can figure it out.
Or if any of you know how to figure it out, hey, give us a shout. We'll definitely appreciate any information you can give us.
That's right. That's right.
All right, but moving on from there, we get to our last news story here, and it's about our current favorite showrunner, Leslie Headland. And basically, she's talked about she's interested in exploring Kreia in live-action Knights of the Old Republic era story. Basically says here, interested in bringing the Old Republic era into live action based on the story of the cynical and mysterious mentor figure Kreia from Knights of the Republic to the Sith Lords. Those that don't know who Kreia is offhand, she was also known as Darth Treya. I'll move on in the story. The article contains spoilers for Knights of the Republic games, so you're at your own risk. If you haven't played it by now, you don't know the story by now, I'm not putting up a spoiler alert for this because this is a 20-year-old game. Sorry, I'm just not doing it.
Spoiler alert, guys. Yeah, just say it. Don't put it up, but just say it. If you have not played the game yet, go play it and then come back and watch this.
Yeah. It says here, she said, Fuzzy Headland says, I've always wanted to explore the live action version of the Knights of the Republic game. It's pretty much what I just said. Kreia is a particularly unique character in the context of Western RPGs, often deconstructing whatever morality-based scenarios players are brought into that are typical for the genre. During the game, one of the first character alignment-based choices is whether to help a beggar on Nar Shaddaa or threaten him in what initially appears to be a typical light side, dark side decision. However you proceed, it is not a cut and dry situation and does not end well for anyone. Either the beggar gets some of your money, learns nothing, and gets mugged by other beggars after flaunting his new riches, or he runs off, learns nothing, and mugs another beggar for what little currency they have. Kreia chastises the player if they choose to try to help the beggar with no strings attached, in her worldview that is more important to help others learn how to help themselves instead of simply offering to help them out of altruism ends up being validated by a scenario and others on the planet. Her perspective comes as a result of a very unique perspective on the Force, believing that it is not to be used as a crutch and that conflict builds character. More importantly, where the quote-unquote spoiler alert comes in,
guys.
even though I just said it, she's also revealed to be Darth Treya, the third and final of the three titular Sith Lords, and the other two Sith Lords are both former apprentices of hers, and that you have to stop in that game on the dead world of Malachor, as her plan involves a plot to try to destroy the Force itself out of the belief that it causes all the wars in the galaxy and it stifles individual growth. Kreia certainly stands out as a character in Star Wars for her refusal to adhere to either side of the Force, while her actions make her a serious potential threat to all lives, to all that lives. I mean, it would be interesting to bring this character to light, without really going any further on that. But I'm gonna say what I said before. Yeah, I would have no problem with somebody bringing up the story of Darth Treya. I think it can be, as you can see, some of the things that are in there could make for a very interesting Star Wars story. I don't want this to be the very first thing that comes out of the Old Republic. I would rather them have somebody come in. I'd rather somebody conquer the story of Darth Vitiate, Revan. There's about 50 other Sith Lords I could think of. And I don't even think there are 50 named Sith Lords. But there's a bunch of other Sith Lords I would love to see first. I'm not necessarily sure Trey is the one I want to see first.
Right.
Because I almost think that this is the one story that if you led with this, you could actually turn people off from wanting to see more. Because it's got to be done just right.
Well, there's going to be a lot of skeptical people too, right? This game is like very close and dear to a lot of people's hearts.
That's a big part of it too.
And if you mess it up, not going to look good. So,
yeah. And like from that description, I don't know if that like description specifically comes from like a place that Leslie,
that's
the
in the
way
game.
Leslie is thinking about it. No, but I just mean like the perspective about the world and making it a better place and all that kind of stuff. I feel like is very up Leslie Headland's alley, so could be doable. Could be doable.
I also think it's a very tread lightly kind of topic to play with.
Well,
Because
the thing that we know about Leslie Headland and the direction of Star Wars currently is that they want not to tread lightly, but to tackle all social justice problems and bring them to light in the form of Star Wars films. So,
without really playing into those politics, because I don't want to play into. I'm here to talk Star Wars. I'm here to. It's like at the end of the day, some people want to do that, and that's fine. At the end of the day, I just want to see some good Star Wars. I just want to see some good stories. I go to Star Wars to get away from what's going on in the world. That's the hard part about Star Wars for me. So I just want to see some good stories, and I just want to enjoy Star Wars for what it is. This is one of those stories that could get heavy if you do it wrong. And that's why I'm a little worried about it. And other than that, I don't want to do that here, but I have to do it here.
I think before tackling a story and a character like that, I think the Knights of the Old Republic story or that era should be kind of like started off in a different way before you're just before being thrown into this the era just like that. Here's Darth Treya, yada yada. There should be like a sort of like a basis for the story or for that era first before we start doing stuff, I think. But
I mean, the big thing is,
I feel like to not have information, like for people who don't know Knights of the Old Republic, to go into a Darth Treya film not knowing about Darth Revan yet is kind of weird.
Yeah, and Revan's the story everyone wants.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Why are you doing a Darth Treya story before a Revan? You know what I mean? Yeah, I get that.
I mean, and don't get me wrong. Maybe you're just saying down the line, I would be happy if you guys would give me the opportunity to take this on. Okay, perfect, no problem. And I don't have a problem with it. I just don't want you being the first one to break out this era with that story.
Yeah.
Be second, be third, that's fine. I don't have a problem with it. Just don't be number one, because it will definitely cloud people's opinions if it's done wrong.
One thing is, I feel like it takes a person with a certain amount of influence and trust with Lucasfilms in order to be able to do some kind of project like this. So who knows, maybe she is the best one to have that kind of relationship with Lucasfilms, because like other people have tried to do Knights of the Old Republic projects and they all just get thrown out the window too. So
I mean, yeah, they're sort of giving her that kind of reign with the High Republic stuff, even though it is kind of the end of the era of High Republic stuff. But this is like the first live action High Republic stuff, so maybe depending on how well the series pans out and how well it does, it's probably how they're going to see if she can keep going doing stuff, I guess. But again, it's one of those things where it's like so far down the road, like there's no way anything is going to be plugged in, even though we got the surprise Tales of the Empire thing this year. But I think animation's a little bit easier to sneak in than a live action TV show or movie. So I don't foresee anything like this again. Just same as the Keller and Beck thing. I don't see anything happening for a good 6 or so years, 7 years, maybe longer. But it would be nice to. Yeah, I would love to see Old Republic stuff, man. That would be really cool. But again, can we start with Revan?
Yeah.
I'd rather start with Revan than Treya.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Well, anybody else want to throw anything else in on this? Because I think we kind of took a low turn with this. I don't want to keep us on that.
Leslie Headland does that to us, man.
Yeah, every time. Every
down.
time.
True, man.
Hey, that being said, the trailers for that show are going to be fantastic. But
man.
all right.
Fantastic.
Well, from there,
Move on.
let's move on to guess who? Leslie Headland. Let's talk some more about her. This week we got our first 2 episodes of The ACOLYTE. Before we get into anything, I just want to throw one thing out there. Because at one point Leslie Headland had said, "Oh yeah, these are going to be great episodes. They're around 20 to 22 minutes long." I think, and thank God they were longer.
I know, right?
Because that was the first thing I was waiting for, was to sit there and hit refresh and see it was 27 minutes long, and I was just gonna be like, what the fuck?
Well, it seems like because I feel okay. Yes, it started off well with the length of the shows. Like first show was 43 minutes, and I think the next show was like 39 minutes.
Yeah.
Right. So, but it seems like it's running in the same, like it keeps going the way it is. The down slow. Like Obi-Wan, it kept going down like this. Like the shows kept getting shorter, I found.
Yeah.
And whatnot. So hopefully it doesn't go down. It just
stays 30.
Kind of stays in that 35 to 45 range, which would be decent.
Yeah.
I know we're all looking for that 1 hour, 45 minutes to an hour show, but I don't think that's in any of their sleeves.
But I just know that was one of those things that we tackled right away, and we were like, if it's this short, what the hell did you do with all the money?
Yeah. Well, also too, because we're being introduced to an era that we haven't seen before. Like, we need some meat.
That's why I feel like the first episode was 43 minutes. Like, you got the first episode's kind of like to, I don't know, like get it going, and then I think every episode after this is supposed going to be like 35 minutes, or, in that 30 somewhat like range.
Yeah. So, like I said, at least at that point, I was just happy to know that we're getting at least for Lucasfilm, regular sized episodes. That being said, I'll move on. But we finally got our first couple episodes. Who want me to check the first one, or?
I'll take the first one. I haven't read anything yet.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So we're starting off with episode 1, Lost/Found, directed and written by Leslie Headland. 100 years before the rise of the Galactic Empire, the Galactic Republic and the Jedi Order preside during a time of centuries-long peace. In a bar on the planet Ueda, Jedi Master Indara is attacked and killed by a woman wielding daggers. The bartender identifies Osha Anasea, a former Jedi Padawan learner, as the killer. Osha, who works as a mechanic doing dangerous repairs on the outside of starships, denies committing the crime, and when arrested by Jedi Knight Yord Fandar and his Padawan Tassi Loa, en route to Coruscant, the galactic capital. OSHA's fellow prisoners escape and leave her to crash land on the planet Karlak. She sees a vision of her twin sister May, who was presumed dead in a fire that killed their family when they were young. OSHA deduces that May is alive and the one who killed Indara. Jedi Master Vernestra Rowe sends Master Soul, OSHA's former teacher, to Karlak with his current Padawan, Jeki Lon, and Yord. They find OSHA, and Soul accepts her theory about May. Elsewhere, May meets with her mysterious master, who has challenged her to kill a Jedi without using a weapon. So yeah, that was sort
Okay,
of.
so before we go on, can we didn't put the spoiler alert
Oh,
on
thank you.
Oh shoot!
There it is.
So
There it
if
is.
anybody hasn't watched it yet, we just kind of
We kind of killed the first
That's
episode
right.
for you, but
killed the first episode for you.
stop watching here and come back soon.
Yeah, that's right. Spoilers.
Uh,
Yeah, I forgot that we didn't officially do a spoiler alert.
It's all good. It's all good. All right. So where do I start? Let's start with the pros. Actually, I personally like the character of OSHA. OSHA. I think she's doing a great job with her character so far, considering she's playing twins. I think she's playing her roles very well.
you mean the actor?
Yes, the actress.
The actor. Yeah.
I actually really like Jedi Master Soul. I think he's doing a great job with that character. I want to say you kind of almost get that that caring Jedi Master feel out of him. You get that feel like you got with Qui-Gon when you saw him going around with Anakin. You kind of get that feel of you almost get that feel of a Master Yoda, someone who really cares. I think he's a very well done character, very well written so far. Kudos for that. The story is actually better than I expected. I don't know where I was expecting it to go in the beginning, but I find myself at a point where, while I'm not completely drawn into this story, by the end of every episode, I'm kind of at that point where I'm like, all right, yeah, I do want to go see what happens next. So, you've got me hooked in a little bit to what's going on. But there are some negatives that are holding me back a little bit. And I gotta get into those. Number one, there's one thing I do have to go on about here. I don't know if you guys have seen a lot of what's going on with a lot with what's been on Twitter and what people have been talking about, and a lot of people are complaining about the fact that when OSHA was out working on the ship, there's a fire in space.
Yeah.
Okay, so for those that want to conquer that as a problem and saying, how can this happen? Can we refer to Return of the Jedi, when an A-wing fighter goes into the Executor, and as the Executor gets hit and is down and is going into the Death Star, the bridge is on fire. As it's heading towards the Death Star, and as it makes contact with the Death Star, bursts into flames.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And
there's quite a few instances of space flames, we'll call them.
Yeah, and nobody had
Wars.
a single complaint about that when George did it.
Yeah.
So guess what? I'm not gonna hold this one against Leslie Headland for doing it here on this show. So
Pretty fair.
I mean,
Pretty fair of you.
I mean, there's a point in the world where we have to dispel our belief a little bit and just say, okay, maybe this can happen. Let it go. This is not your fight to. This isn't the one to put your flag on and say we're gonna die with this battle. It's been done. It's happened before. Let it go.
Yeah.
That being said, let's move on to what I didn't care for.
Did you just drop something?
I just dropped my camera. Keep going.
You all right? You all right?
Yeah, we're good.
All right.
I think.
It kind of tortures me that you put Carrie Ann Moss on all the promotional materials. You have her talk as one of the primary people talking about this show and how great it is, how much fun she had making this show, and all the stuff she does, and she's dead 6 minutes in.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think she's like we're getting flashbacks and she's still in the show, but
Okay.
I don't think she's like totally out of the show yet, right? But
I feel like this is something that definitely does happen in films fairly frequently, but we do hope we can hold Star Wars to a higher standard. Like, if you guys ever seen Life, it's like a space movie where Ryan Reynolds is with his crew and they go up and they discover this alien species and he dies like 3 minutes in. He's the only big name actor in the whole film. So it kind of felt similar to that kind of thing, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Another thing. At the very beginning here, May goes into this little bar. She's picking a fight with Master Indara, Master Trinity, and
Master Trinity.
basically it's saying, "Come fight me." And Indara looks at her and she says, "I have no quarrel with you. Why would I want to fight you?" And so she starts a fight with everyone else in the building. And Indara just sits there and watches her beat the shit out of a countless amount of people, at least 10. And at no point decides, before all these people are down and hurt badly, to get involved to stop her from doing any of this. I kind of feel I had a little bit of a problem with that because that's a little beyond the Jedi way.
Yeah.
It's like a Jedi's going to step up and maybe stop somebody from getting hurt, or I mean, she may not prevent the first two. I can understand.
Yeah.
By the time you get to the 10th person and they're all getting hurt, it's like maybe she should have been involved a little bit more at that point. Again,
she was finishing her drink. Like, come on.
Sure.
Okay, I'm done. Yeah, all right.
That being said, we've kind of seen the fight 30 times. The fight's still good.
Yeah.
I can't argue the fight is good.
It is really good quality.
And that is one thing I will say. The fight scenes are all good. I have not. There's nothing in there that I didn't see that I would say, no, we don't need to have fight scenes like this all the time. I loved every minute of it. That can keep going. Last thing I'll really get into, this Jedi Knight Yord Fandar. Holy fuck, I hate this guy. Who is this guy? It's like he just comes off as like
altruistic Jedi.
No, just like I don't know, a cocky douche of a Jedi Knight.
Yeah, but I feel like that's most Jedi.
More than usual.
No, well, for him, he's what is he? They said he's a Jedi
Knight.
Temple
He's a
guard.
Jedi Knight. Oh yeah, that's right.
that's what he said. He's a temple guard who follows everything by the book. That was kind of his like description.
Yeah.
So he's like follows like everything by the book.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
he feels like he's probably on that high horse because he's like, oh, I'm a Jedi, and these are our rules, and yeah.
That's like when I think of him, I think of like a rookie cop, and it's like, yeah, I just don't like you. I can't bring myself to like you. Maybe, well, he's not gonna probably live that long, but maybe one of those guys 10 years down the line starts to learn, figures things out. Maybe I could like you more then, but at this point, oh, no. just no. Thank God they have sold the balance him out, because...
But yeah, for that, I feel like during the Clone Wars when we had all those Jedi, like probably 90% of them are like that, and that's why Anakin is such an outlier, because he's so different from, your traditional Jedis that are just very, very by the book. It's kind of the Jedi way, right? So I don't know. I feel like he's pretty normal, so to say, for a Jedi.
I mean, that's pretty much all I know I said a lot, but I got nothing else.
One thing I was seeing a lot of talk about before the air of the episode is speculation on these daggers that she was using, whether or not they were these Sith daggers that were from literature and all this stuff, and it turns out no, they seem like just normal daggers. I would imagine since her lightsaber chopped them to bits, that they're just normal steel. Yeah. So I imagine they're just normal daggers, not anything too special, but I don't know. I thought there was some pretty cool parts. I think in this one we also, it doesn't really say it in that description, but we also meet her friend who supplies her. Or no, is that in the second one?
That was the second one.
Okay. Maybe that's in the second one. Okay. Yeah, pretty good episode. Like you said, we've seen the fight scene a few times before we even seen this episode, but it was cool to see the whole thing as in its entirety, and generally it was a pretty good episode. We got to see Vernestra. I still think she's a pretty cool character.
I think she's a cool character. I feel like, and this is just me, okay? I don't know if anybody else thinks this too, but I find the makeup in this movie, in this show, is not the greatest. I don't know, like just the close-ups of Vernestra, I'm just like, I feel like it's not the greatest, and like
something was off. It felt like a human wearing makeup.
It was just off, man. Like I felt, and then the two Padawans, like the Padawan Jeki. For me, okay, so for me personally, like I'm not a person that likes a lot of makeup on, like my wife, she doesn't wear any makeup. And I love that, right? So when things are plastered with makeup, it just kind of ruins it for me a little bit. Not to say that their acting or nothing like that was bad or anything. It's just the visual. It kind of threw me off. So that's just me. But so both the Padawans, I was kind of thrown off guard. And then Vernestra, I was like, the close-ups, I was like, man, you can tell she's human. Like it doesn't, you know what I mean? Like, so I don't know.
Yeah, I felt that same way about the makeup and costume. But it did take it out of the element a bit for me. And also, like you said, with those Padawans, I feel like they were going a bit over the top with those.
A little over the top, I think.
Yeah.
But I mean, I know it's supposed to be in a world with aliens and all this stuff, but it was a little much for me. But not to say that their acting was bad, not at all. It was just visually for me, it wasn't there. But other than that, like there was so like that first scene, that fight scene was great. And the reason why I say that Indara is not done yet is because I think in the trailer there is another couple scenes with her in it, and I think these are flashbacks of kind of what happened on May and Osha's planet. when the whole fire thing happened and when they were stationed there and all that stuff. So because there's a scene in the trailer where she's like over top of somebody, it looks like she's either trying to heal them or like they're up, you know, they're emotionally upset about whoever's down there. I don't know, but she's still in it a little bit, it seems. So that's why I know she's not out of it yet. But there was somebody saying that, and somebody had speculated before the show started that she was going to die in the first episode, just sort of kind of set the bar. And so, like, there's a few, somebody pointed out there's a few movies where, you know, sort of like Ryan Reynolds in that Life movie, where you hire an actor, one of these big stars, and you kill them off in the first like 10 minutes of the movie or the show or whatever, and it kind of sets the bar, the tone for the whole movie or whatever it is. They have a saying for it. I can't remember what it's called, but I think it's like dead celebrities walking or something like that. I don't know. Anyways, I thought it was interesting. I was like, oh, okay, that's kind of weird. But yeah, that whole scene was pretty cool. And then yeah, she's, you know, OSHA's on the ship, and she's a mech, and she's kind of fixing things on the ship, but going outside, and then the fire happens. And so that whole scene with the fire, when that happens, it didn't really, because I'm sure a lot of people were like, why is it there's fire in space? You can't have fire in space, la la la. I didn't really think about it until after the show was done. Like my buddy,
Yeah.
you know, he's like, oh, there's people talking about it. I'm like, I didn't even like pick up on that. I was just in the story, like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
really. So I think at this point, people are just like, they're trying to find things to be upset about the show. You know what I mean? So it's just
Star Wars fans never do that. That's not a thing.
Yeah, right, eh? That never happens, right? They never. It's always perfect.
Lies.
Oh, lies. Yeah. What else? So yeah. So Jordan, the Padawan, arrests OSHA. They I found it funny where they're on this like prison ship, and like it's a prison ship of droids, right? And there's these other guys, and they're on it. And the whole scene was kind of funny, to be honest. Like it was kind of
I like that scene.
comedic, like scene, like where they all break out. The guy has the big tongue that comes around the droid and like smashes that, and then she has a little, you know, a heartfelt moment there where she's like, I can't leave this guy behind, so let's go take the thing off the guy's mouth, and he just like runs into the pod, and like she's like, oh crap. So that whole scene was pretty funny.
Yeah, I like that scene actually. Now that you say that, I thought that scene was very well written. It kind of, like you said, it has a bit of a laugh, and then like there's some action, and then it's like, oh no,
man, too, right? That's sort of like humor thrown into the story, which is, you know, and it's not forced. It wasn't. It didn't feel forced either, right? So it felt like it was supposed to be there. So that was a good scene. So
I didn't really like the scene where she's like on the cliff, and she's like, oh, like walking backwards. I'm like, why was she on the cliff? I don't understand. This never really was. Like, it doesn't. That part didn't really make sense to me.
Oh, the remake of the remake of the scene from The Fugitive.
Yeah, The Fugitive.
Yeah.
It's like if you put The Fugitive and that scene together, it's like
I didn't do it. I don't care.
Yeah. I didn't do it. It wasn't me.
Yeah. Like maybe, it was divisive, but it didn't really, for me, like make sense. Like she wasn't looking to jump off that cliff. It didn't seem before that, you know.
Yeah, I don't know if she was thinking about jumping off the cliff. I like it seemed like it, but I don't know, like.
Yeah, it seemed like she was just wandering around trying to find whatever that person that, you know, and then all of a sudden she's like on the edge of this cliff. Yeah, I don't know. It was weird.
I just find it funny, like they all land. She sees the Jedi shuttle coming in, so she takes off from the wreckage, right? And then they land in there and they go through the wreckage or whatever it is, and then they're like, wait a second, like Saul's like, oh, let's go, and then they start running, and then they're like, do they not know it's a winter planet? Like they're running through a winter planet. It's like a blizzard, and they don't even have like the proper like clothing on. You can tell.
Oh yeah, they're wearing like robes.
In their robes, and they're just like,
Yeah.
just yeah. Anyways, I thought it was funny.
I mean, I do think it's like little details like that are being missed, and that's.
We're just being picky, I guess now, but
well, don't get me wrong. Sure, we're being picky, but at the same time, they're important details. I mean, it's like, okay, let's go through The Empire Strikes Back.
Right.
At a time when Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, you have one of the coldest planets in the universe, and suddenly they're out there in just regular robes, pants, clothes. No, none of us are going to believe that. I mean... Right. Given it's a short period of stuff, but what if something prolonged had to happen on this planet?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Also, they're potentially prepared, right? They're on like a mission, so they probably do have some kind of gear on the ship, you know.
Well, the only stuff that the Jedi had in the High Republic stuff. So they had two gears, two like sets of clothing. They had their mission clothing, mission robes, and then they had their Jedi Temple robes, right? So there's the only two things that they wore, right? And I mean, granted, they probably have different. Maybe if they're going on a planet with snow on it, maybe they have something else. Maybe I don't know. Anyways, maybe they have enough. Maybe it's warm enough with all that robe that it was fine. But it just seemed weird when they were running through it. Well, not weird. It was funny. It was funny. They're just like struggling through this blizzard, and like they just have robes on. So it was a little fun.
I mean, given it could be something where they're trying to give off the impression like they're Jedi. They're like special monks out there that can withstand these kinds of things, but it's never been explored in Star Wars to this point. You kind of gotta give me something to work with here.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying.
I feel like we've seen parts in the Clone Wars, which granted just animation, but where they're on a winter planet and they are wearing some sort of like, I don't know, like winter jackets that look like combat robes kind of thing.
Yeah, or heavier robes or something with their hoods are up. They look like they at least understand the conditions around them.
Yeah.
Like I said, if you want to play it that way, like these are monks that can withstand this stuff without a problem, that's fine. You just gotta play. You gotta lead us in with that. Because, like I said, it's
like
never
show them like mentally overcoming it or something.
Yeah, because guess what? They've never taken this on in the universe. To just say that it's Jedi. There we go.
But also we have seen Anakin and Kenobi fighting on the river of Labo, which would melt human skin if we were that close to it, wearing robes. So there's that.
I guess. I mean, the elements. I don't know.
Just saying.
But anyway.
So there's one more thing I want to bring up. Okay, so there's two actually. So we see the new handheld droid, Pip. So obviously we have another droid as the little bit of a comic relief there, a tiny bit.
Yeah,
he's kind of popped back a little bit to.
Yeah, I feel like that's something they could have done a little bit better, because I want to, as you know, like have this comic relief from the droid, but obviously they just gave that sound like maybe.
Yeah, you don't really know
that. Doesn't really mean anything to me. I'm sorry. I would love to laugh at what it just said, but I have no idea what it said. So.
Because I mean, with when you have with the original droids with R2 and C3PO, I mean, R2 did the beep 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 beep, but you had 3PO actually, sort of responding to his whatever. So you can kind of assume what R2 was actually saying. But
Yeah,
now,
and I
it's
guess
not really.
she does kind of whatever
That's true.
reply
She
to it
does.
a little
She
bit.
talks
So there is
binary.
that.
That's what it is, right? She talks
Yeah,
binary. Um. So, anyways,
but
that's
but yeah, I feel
so
like if it had a little bit more of a like you know how with some of the other droids, I can't think of a specific example where they have the binary, but it almost sounds like they're saying words.
yeah.
Oh, they could have went a little bit more like that for my liking personally. But yeah,
The Swiss Army robot Pip.
yeah,
That's the
yeah.
droid. So, and then one more thing I just want to bring up. So as I thought the scene was funny. So back on the prison ship as well. So when all the prisoners flee on the space pods or on the pods, the escape pods, she's there like scrambling, trying to figure out what she's gonna do to try to like, because at this point the ship is pummeling into the atmosphere, right? So
Right.
the ship is starting to burn up now. Okay, it's burning up, and she's like, she sees these two seatbelts, and she's like, takes the canisters out and like straps herself into these seatbelts, right?
Hmm.
And then like ducks like this, right? And like it shows the outside of the ship like just like bursting into flames as it's like hitting the thing. I was like, how is that gonna like? I thought it was gonna like blow up. Like the amount of flames that were coming off it, it's like it's gonna burn up by the time it hits the ground anyway. So what are you looking for? But I mean, yeah, and the seat belts were like they didn't seem to be tight. Like they were like loose and like all this stuff. Anyways, these are small things I'm picking.
Yeah,
I think it was just funny. Like it's just small things that like overall the episode was great. I thought it was a good episode, you know. At just this point, just kind of fishing for things to
yeah.
kind of bring
I
up, I
also
guess.
thought that the crash of the vessel did seem a little unrealistic because also it's like freely spinning as it's like pummeling down, which I don't think is something that would happen. And then like I don't know, it's not the first time in Star Wars though that there's been an unrealistic crash
No,
for
yeah.
sure.
So it's what
Well,
it is.
For sure.
It's
keep in mind also when she finally woke up, she was on the ground. She wasn't in that seat anymore either.
Oh yeah,
It
that's
didn't really
true.
help her.
That's true. And her pip droid, like she like secured it in that pouch and it was out of the
Yeah,
pouch and
yeah.
everything.
So
So it was rough for her, for sure.
yeah. But anyways, yeah. So I think at the last thing at the end there, you guys remember what the dark side character said at the end? I think it kind of briefly says it here. In the thing,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, he says yeah, you can't use steel and laser, they don't affect a Jedi. Or yeah. Weapons fail since steel and laser are no threat to them. He says that an acolyte kills without a weapon, adding that the acolyte kills the dream.
yeah, something. Yeah, and then Neil talks about the Jedi living in a dream, which they believe everyone shares. I thought it was a cool like just at the end like him talking in his obviously it's a masked voice,
Yeah, masked voice,
obviously,
yeah.
and to me having a masked voice, I mean this could be nothing, right? It could be absolutely nothing because we've been so, you know, well, I mean I've been disappointed. Apparently not a lot of people have been lately, but I have been disappointed in the fact that you know the reveals of certain characters and their masks haven't been what I've wanted, right? So, but it could be nothing, but like the hiding of the voice, the mask of the voice, makes me believe that it's somebody that we know already in the show. I feel. I don't know, or we're gonna see, and they're gonna be revealed later or something. I don't know. Like it feels like it's somebody that we have seen that's going to be revealed as this dark side figure. That's just me. But
I
anyways,
say I haven't
thought
given
that
any thought yet.
well, I think I'm thinking more. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, no, I mean, I kind of,
Throwing out theories.
yeah, I actually kind of like where you're going with it now that you said it. It's actually it brings a little bit more intrigue to what's going on. But that being said, there was one more thing I wanted to bring up now that you said it because it just kind of made me realize: is it just me, or do these episodes end very abruptly? That's like on, like it almost felt like it ended on something like, wait, why did you stop it there? Or
especially, I think the second episode too happened a little bit more abrupt than the first one. I think.
yeah, and the first one was very abrupt.
Yeah, the first one I feel like they kind of just left us with that quote from the Dark Figure,
Which I thought it was
from
great.
Zipper Face, right?
Him saying that whole thing, and then him revealing his lightsaber, and then it just
Yeah.
cuts it off, and I'm just like, oh yeah, here we go.
Yeah, to me that did kind of give a feeling of I can't wait to watch the next episode. So I feel like that was a proper cliffhanger, so to speak. Like not a true cliffhanger, I guess that's the wrong word. More of a whatever, something to keep you interested. I suppose.
I get where you're going with it.
Yep.
But yeah, I was gonna say, to me, the masking of the voice and the face and everything is partially explained in the next episode, right? Or to me, could be part of the reason is we'll talk about it when we go into that episode, I suppose. But yeah, just wanted to say that.
Good segue.
As we now move into episode 2 of the Acolyte. Who wants? You want me to cover it, or you want to do it?
I can read this one.
Okay.
So episode 2, if that's okay. I mean, unless you wanted to.
No, go for it.
Sorry, episode 2, Revenge / Justice, directed by Leslie Headland, written by Jason McAuliffe and Charmaine the Great. May attempts to kill Jedi Master Torben in a temple on the planet Omega, but is prevented by his Force meditation. Torben has been floating in silent meditation for over a decade. Manestra sends Saul, Jackie, Yord, and Osha to investigate this attack. May regroups with her supplier, Kamir, who is helping her hunt the 4 Jedi that were stationed on her and Osha's home planet, Brendok, at the time of the fire. Indara, Torben, Sol, and the Wookiee Kelnaka. Kamir provides May with a poison and warns her that she still needs to kill one of the 4 without a weapon. May offers the poison to Torben as absolution for his past. He stops meditating and willingly takes it, dying just as the others arrive. May escapes and Osha poses as her for information for Kamir. He reveals the existence of May's master and her overall plan. That night, Saul confronts May and reveals to her that Osha is alive. Osha attempts to stun May, but misses, and May escapes again. She later threatens Kamir over talking to the Jedi, but he convinces her to spare him because he has learned that Kelnaka is living on the planet Kofar.
So what I was alluding to with the masking of the voice and the face is, to me, it seems like more of a like all-inclusive attempt to make sure that nobody knows who he is, including those that are subservient to him and all that, so that, you know, they can't tell the truth about it because they don't know it. They don't know who he is. So yeah.
Well, that's what she said. That's what she said when she was fighting Saul, right? Like she has no idea.
Yeah, well, he said it. He's like, "Oh, I see your master has
that's right. That's right.
taken great length to disguise himself." So
Right.
yeah. So yeah, to me that was kind of what.
There's a point in the trailer that his mask is on the ground. So at some point in this series, in this first season, we're gonna see who it is. So that's why I'm kind of like, this could be somebody. Because I mean, if it was somebody that didn't really matter, I feel then they wouldn't have shown the mask on the ground, and they would have shown who it was, right?
And also, hopefully, it's revealed to us, but not necessarily the characters in the show. Because if it's revealed to the characters in the show, then this like mystery about the Sith not being around for such a long time, like you know what I mean.
Yeah.
There's some conflict there with these kind of revelations.
Yeah. So I don't know if it's just me, but this whole incident that happened on Brendock, I'm super curious now. Like it's starting to like they're starting to like throw in little things here and there. And now that, you know, Indara, Torben, Saul, and Kelnaka were stationed on the planet when the fire happened, and apparently, you know, May started this fire and all this stuff. So like what, and the whole scene between May and Torben, how Torben was like, what does he say here? Where he says that he's May for forgiveness, or Torben begs for forgiveness and tells May that they thought they were doing the right thing. Like,
Yeah.
whoa, what happened, man? Like, I want to know. This is and this is why we're gonna see, I think, because you see in the trailer too, there's young Saul with his short hair and all this stuff, right? So there are flashbacks. It feels like we're gonna see all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm intrigued, as this is kind of like helping me want, you know, I'm excited to see what else is gonna happen here, like, you know, stuff like that.
This is forcing. Go ahead.
What? No. I'm.
No, you go ahead.
You got stuff to say. I know you do. But I don't know. What else in this episode? Yeah, so we meet Kamir. He seems to be some sort of dealer of some sort. He's a little mysterious too. But he kind of knows. So, like, obviously, him and her each other for a bit. So there's some sort of backstory with that. He knows about the Master. So maybe, I don't know. Or he knows about the Master, but the Master doesn't necessarily know that they're working together, or he's helping her or something like that. Whatever. There's a scene where it says, "Don't tell him that. Shouldn't tell him that we're working together," or something.
Yeah.
What else?
To me, he definitely feels very like dark side. Unlike May, who I feel like seems like a soft-hearted person. I don't know. I definitely don't see her as a villain at all. Like she just
you can tell she's got
doesn't
some
have
like,
that feeling.
yeah, like okay, and also I find it kind of silly the way that she, especially in like episode 1. Okay, so the first episode again. Sorry, I'm going back to the first episode when she fights Indara. But when she like goes up to the table and she goes, "Come at me with all your strength." I'm like,
Yeah.
that's the cheesiest line I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah.
You know? I did not like it, and she does it again.
Yeah, she seems like a little kid.
On,
yeah,
man,
like
stop it. Like,
yeah.
like okay,
You're embarrassing yourself.
You're embarrassing yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I mean, even though she gets the upper hand at the end, I guess, but
yeah.
But still, like, I'm just like, what? That's the line she says?
Yeah.
But yeah,
And
she
the way
definitely
that-
doesn't feel like a,
Oh,
like I
man.
said, like a villain, like a convincing villain.
Absolutely not. No. And then the way that everybody like reacted around the table when she says that, and they all laughed at her, it was like, that was kind of how I felt. I'm laughing at
Yeah.
that friggin' line, like.
Yeah.
But anyway, she does it again, and yeah, and then yeah, you're looking at Torben, you're like, and I think Elder brought it up before we started, and he's
Oh
like,
yeah, that's right.
Like Torben looks like he's 14 with you know, a receding
cul-de-sac.
hairline and a scar over his face, like, you know,
and patched on baby moss.
Yeah.
yeah. So,
It's I'm sorry. It's just like, it's like, what made you think this guy looks like he's over 14 years old still?
yeah, right.
He looks as young as he looked on Game of Thrones.
Like, are we running out of people that are age appropriate, or?
Yeah, right.
I mean,
the guy's like meditating for 10 years, like just sitting there 10 years meditating.
and I'm sorry, but I'm taking this as my segue into my rant.
Go for it. Yeah,
Sorry, because that's Jedi Master Torben is my least favorite part of this series so far.
Right.
Number one, you're a 14-year-old Jedi Master. You're sitting there, you're hovering in this Jedi temple, which, by the way, the Jedi. When I think Jedi Temple, it's like sneaking into an alleyway. This is a Jedi Temple in the middle of a city. What?
That's what I said.
Right.
Yeah.
What?
Are we walking into Jabba's palace? Because that what is it, the robot R or I that came out of the door? It's like, what the?
Yeah.
Yeah. No doubt.
It's like, come on,
Kind
man.
of had that same feel.
But you're hovering in this room in a Jedi temple. This girl just tried to attack you. You have a shield around you. Nothing she's ever going to do is going to penetrate this shield. Yeah. You could just sit there forever. No problem. I get it. Whatever he's done, she wants to kill him. That's fine. I have no problem with that part of the story. But all of a sudden, she leaves. She gets a poison. She comes back. She says one sentence about what he's done. That's what wakes him up. He looks at her and he says, "I'm sorry for what I've done," and takes the poison and willingly takes it and kills himself. Yeah. What?
Yeah.
What?
Well,
and we have no other story to pull this on, but we have a Jedi Master who just sat there and, off the words of one person, commits suicide.
Which is probably against the Jedi Order.
I would imagine.
It's like, wait a minute. You're telling me this guy, and he's one of the most respected Jedi of the Order, just instantly resorts to killing himself rather than standing up for his whatever, if it even is a crime.
Actually, I just thought of something, like how the Jedi lore is kind of closely related to like old samurai traditions and stuff. I wonder if suicide is looked down on by them, because I know in samurai times it was expected that you would commit suicide if you were dishonored to a certain degree. So yeah, it's kind of an interesting thing to think of.
But there's not. But again.
Okay, well, take out a mini lightsaber and stab yourself.
Yeah. Seppuku.
You know what I mean?
Okay, but that's gonna bring me back to the point. If that's how you want to play it, fine. But it has never been tackled in the Star Wars universe before. You can't just pop this on us like that and suddenly say, "Oh, this is a normal thing. You should have known that already." Oh no. I have never seen a Jedi say, "Oh, well, I fucked up. I'm gonna kill myself." No, it doesn't work that way.
It's true.
You would have had half the Jedi Order, like during the Clone Wars, killing themselves because they messed up the friggin' mission or something. You know?
Yeah. Who would have needed Order 66?
Yeah. Or certainly Jedi Luke, like in his later days.
Yeah.
You know.
But it's like,
which sorry, go ahead. You continue.
I think I'm actually done, but
he's wrapped up. Let's go.
But how do you?
Sorry, I just
Go ahead.
When I said that about the Jedi Master Luke, that kind of reminds me of what I do think is the story of what happened here on what's it called, Brendok. So what I think is likely going to happen, there's a couple things that make lead me to this conclusion, is while those three were stationed there in Dara, Torben, four, sorry, the Wookiee guy, while they were stationed there, probably they were teaching May and Osha, because they're Force sensitive. So maybe there's some sort of classroom similar to what we see with Saul there, because there's like that one student that says, "I see the fire," or "I see fire," when he's having them do that meditation in the first episode there, right?
Yep.
So they made it seem like that brought him to a place of remembering a former student potentially saying something like that, and instead of leaning into, oh, we better stop this and be afraid of what this means, he just says the force is very powerful, and we need to respect it, blah blah blah. So what I think happened is they were potentially teaching these two students and maybe other students as well, who knows, and then May sort of seemed like she was going towards the dark side, and then the Jedis decided to take action, and then she, in fighting against that, burns down the village, kills everybody, blah blah blah. That's my take on what is going to happen. Very similar to the Ben Solo, Luke Skywalker story. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
It makes sense. I'm
not saying that is what it's going to be, but that's my prediction of kind of what the vibe I'm getting from the little hints that we're getting here and there.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, you can see that. Yeah. There's like, you definitely know Master Soul, the characters. Like, there's stuff going on that obviously you don't know yet, but it feels like at some point his character is going to kind of go a little bit away from the order a little bit, sort of. I feel like he's gonna like be something similar to Qui-Gon, where he's like kind of like in the gray, doesn't agree with all, like, because right now Venestra's giving him orders and doing this stuff, and you can tell there's some resistance in some of the orders that she's giving him to do, so I feel like he's gonna eventually like kind of be like, I don't know about this anymore, or whatever it is.
Yeah, and she does seem politically driven in her choice too, right? Because she's like, regardless of what you think about this Padawan,
right,
this looks bad to our enemies, it makes us look weak, blah blah blah, or whatever she said, or allies, or whatever it is that she says. And then so she is, that is the thing that Qui-Gon always was going against, is like, no, we shouldn't be involved in these politics, we do what's right regardless, right? So
well, I imagine she's probably on the council now, isn't she? Wouldn't she be? I don't know if it's been brought up that she is, but she probably is.
I think in the I can't remember exactly where we've seen this, but I think I remember them saying that she's like very ancient. Like, she talks about him being a young kid and stuff like that.
Yeah,
she is older. Yes.
Yeah, she is older for sure.
And at some point we're going to see her fight also.
Well, yeah, because obviously we see the whip come out, and
yeah,
she is dressed in her outside clothing, her mission robes, right?
Yeah.
In one of those scenes, so we know she's out in the woods or whatever it is. But I mean, that could also be. I feel like that could also be like. There's still a lot of like flashback stuff that I feel like is going to happen here, and it's possible that she might be part of that flashback stuff and not.
Yeah,
she doesn't really go out now. It seems like she's part of the the council, and she doesn't do anything. She's just part of that political stuff now. But I think we're going to see when everybody was a little younger, and she'll be out there, I think, with that.
I mean,
but yeah,
it could be like a how we seen that scene in the trailer where the lightsaber gets thrown, the red lightsaber, and it's like maybe that's something where it's a battle between Jedi and our Leatherface character.
Zipperface.
Yeah.
See, I haven't really thought too much about predictions for this, because I'm still holding with my major prediction at the end, which is ideally none of these people should survive this show or this season, or however they're going to play it.
Yeah.
Or they don't see the.
If they don't see him, then that's one thing. But
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see. I mean, with some of the things that we've seen so far, I don't see how that's possible. At least it feels like some of them. I mean, we've already seen some of them in battle, so they shouldn't survive. But
we all know that you hope that Yor doesn't make it.
Yeah.
For sure.
well, I'm almost positive he doesn't make it. he should have been dead already. But,
Elder's gonna go once he dies. He's gonna be like, yes.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. He's got the yellow lightsaber, which is the Jedi Temple Guard.
Temple Guard.
Yeah.
Although, I mean, I don't feel like they're gonna throw him in his gear, but
Although apparently some of the Jedi temples are rickety, like
that
you
too,
know.
right? So it could be like a casual day in the Jedi Temple.
But no, yeah, you're right about the whole Jedi Temple thing. It was very off-putting because Jedi temples are like made to be defensible and all that kind of stuff, and this didn't look like that at all. It like you said, it's like the Mandalorian when he's going to meet with the scientists, like in the shady little
aisle,
side room. Yeah. Very bizarre. And also too, that one Jedi like walks right past her and she's just like,
well,
it's like, isn't that a Jedi? Like, shouldn't they be able to sense her intentions?
Right. Like, she's got dark side like stuff going on. Or
yeah, there's got to be like energy, like dark energy coming from this this lady. So
well, that's what I don't get to. Like, you're able to walk right into this place, like, you know what I mean? Like, and like there's a bunch of Jedi standing over there. One walks past you this way. You're able to do this, yada yada. And it's just like nobody even knows you're here. Obviously, the alarm goes off eventually, I guess. But
yeah, and that's weird
that
too.
Happens,
like,
I have no idea why it goes off when she makes
she's
it
just
room, but
she's just randomly in noise in that room for like probably 10 minutes before all of a sudden like.
And,
there's some kind of alert. Like,
actually, didn't the alarm go off after he had taken the poison and died?
No,
because it's the first visit.
That's the first visit. That's right.
Yeah, when she like jumps up into the ceiling or whatever.
Yeah.
And she had attacked him like 5 times in that scene too.
Yeah, she had already been making noise for like like I said, like 5-10 minutes or something.
And like daggers are flying everywhere.
Yeah. And she's like, and she's saying stuff loudly, like she's not like whispering or anything. So yeah, I don't know.
Come at me with all your might. Relax.
Yeah.
It's like it might have almost been even better if she did that to Torben. Torben just like snickered in his meditation.
Well, you just see a little grin, like a little like.
But I talked about the main thing I hate about this show right now. I got that off my chest. I do want to talk about a couple things I did like about this show, this episode though. Yeah. I like the character of Kamir. I like that he's kind of like basically Q.
I feel like he reminds me of somebody. I don't know who, but he just reminds me of a character that I can't pinpoint. But it's just...
to me, he kind of has a feel kind of like that Codebreaker guy. Like, not that that was a fantastic movie that came
DJ.
from, but it was a character that I liked. He felt like shady and
it's shady, but yet the second OSHA goes in there, he recognizes that it's not May.
He seems to have some smarts, right? Like
he's not a fool. So there was a lot about him I liked. I'm kind of curious as to where that character's going to go from here. I love the soul fight with May. Holy crap! That fight was like a beauty.
So when that was going on, I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, does what's his name? Lee Young Jae, is that his name?
That's his name.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if he actually knows. And this was kind of all of his like choreography with with that
Yeah.
fight or whatever.
I'd be
you know what
willing
I
to
mean?
bet.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
I would also.
It seemed
I
so
would also.
smooth, and he seemed like it fit him. You know what I mean? It fit. It was like it wasn't like somebody was like making it up or whatever it is, and then the moves were all fake. Like I know there was some wire trick there, obviously, but it looked really good. Like,
But man, I just love the part where he's sitting there, and he sits there and he recognizes right away, "You're attacking me without a weapon. Why?" Almost, it's like why are you bothering?
yeah, why are you bothering? Yeah, why though? Why are you doing that?
And then the one thing I do have to admit, in those fights that she has with these Jedi, there's always that one part where it's almost like they see she's reaching for that person's lightsaber. Like she's trying to take their lightsaber away, and she just misses every time.
And they really slow it down.
Yeah.
Like it's almost like they're meaning to tell us something about that, right?
Like the goal is for her to take their lightsaber from them.
No, I
Yeah.
think it's also like she's tempted to take the lightsaber, but she's thinking in her head going, I have to kill this guy without a weapon. Like it's always on the
Right.
like she has a chance to take it, I think, but she doesn't take it.
Yeah.
She's like, I have to kill one of these Jedi without a weapon to please the master, right?
Yeah. But also, I thought it was strange that she was like reaching for the lightsaber with Indara, and at the end it shows that the lightsaber's there, and she could have just taken it for the next fight. I don't know.
That's another thing. Usually, you kill a Jedi, that's a trophy.
Yeah.
And
Especially
usually,
for somebody that's hunting them, like.
I mean, it's not number one. Not only is it a trophy, it's proof of death.
Yeah.
So to
That or
not
their
take
medallion.
it, so to not take it and go back to this master that she has, and to not present that lightsaber, say, Indara's dead. I was kind of surprised. Because
Yeah,
I mean,
I
that goes
thought
back
that
to the
part
old.
was weird too.
Because that goes back to the old Republic. That goes back to even with someone like Grievous, he takes his trophy when he kills a Jedi.
Darth Vader does the same. He
Vader
collects
takes
the lightsabers and medallions of the Jedi that he slays.
I mean, even with all the ones that were killed in the Jedi Temple in Order 66, they collected up their lightsabers. Why now are we? Is this the one situation where we're going to leave it behind?
Yeah. And like noticeably leaves it too. Like the camera's like looking at it so that we know that it's being left behind.
Yeah. So
Strange.
I mean, that's something I would like them to touch on at some point in this season. I want to know.
I mean, I think all the trophy stuff before too, like we're talking about all that. I mean that comes after this era too, right? So I mean, maybe there's something, I don't know, something different about the era, possibly.
But like I said, it came before the era as well. So, and given I haven't read anything about the High Republic, so there might be something in there where it was looked down upon. I don't know. I mean, given you're also talking about a time, the height of the Jedi, so I don't know who they're. I know the only enemy I know of is the one called the Nihil or the Nile, or it's spelled Nihil. I don't know how they pronounce it necessarily.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe they didn't do this sort of thing. I don't know. But that all that aside, because if I don't know it, I'm not going to get into it. It is something that I really would like to see them cover. But that being said, listen, the fight with Soul, beautiful. I mean, even the part where she thought she had him, and she like spins around, and she thinks she's going to hit him, and all of a sudden you just see him suddenly just pop up right behind her, and she's just like, oh shit.
And then takes her daggers, and she reaches for them, not there.
Yeah. It's like everything done just right. Like Soul knew exactly how to fight her.
Yeah.
One thing I want to say about Lee Jung Jae, like you were talking about whether or not it potentially was like his choreography and stuff like that. I feel like it's more of a, I'm just sort of reading the the history of the fellow as an actor, I don't think that he probably like wrote that choreography, but is capable of it, like capable of performing it because he did a stint in the military when he was young. But it doesn't really show much accolades as far as like kung fu, martial arts, etc. He's South Korea's most successful actor of all time, and is like a businessman, runs all these like restaurants and stuff like that. So I feel like as an actor and an action star, he's capable of doing these stunts and stuff like that. But as far as writing the choreography, I feel doubtful on that one.
Right.
Just based on what I'm reading here.
Maybe he had something, a word or two to throw in on it just to.
I think it's possible that it's not his, but he makes it look so good. Maybe it's just the way that
it just
flows,
really good at it.
Yeah, maybe it's just very comfortable with
the
that.
way that he is. He's very good at it. But also another thing I want to bring up too, where his English for those 2 episodes, man, his English, like he learned English really, like his English is really good compared to what, you know what I mean, compared to what, because if you think back at a celebration, he showed up and like he could barely like talk English much, and I feel like he learned a lot of, I mean, you can read the lines obviously and make it sound good, and I think whatever he did with the script, he sounds pretty good compared to a couple of years ago, I would say.
Hey, you don't become Korea's most successful actor without being pretty good at it.
It's English too, right? Like he doesn't know it. Like Squid Games. That was kind of like one of those ones where it was kind of, it was it was put on Netflix and all that stuff. Obviously, it was filmed in Korea or whatever it was, or right, and it was filmed in their language, I think too, right? Like Korean or whatever. But like when he came on Celebration, like he barely spoke English. Like I think he just said like thank you or something like that, right? Or he had a translator there. He was talking, right? So to accomplish what he's been doing in the show so far, it's a huge accomplishment for sure. Showcases his acting really well.
Yeah, we love him so far. I've not heard anybody say anything bad about him.
Honestly, I feel like I'm gonna continue to like the character. Like it seems like he's taken a different path as the show goes. Like
Which almost Soul.
I like the sort of Qui-Gon feel to this character. It's nice, like sort of had that little gray area in there.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think he's gonna. Like I said, from the second he came on the screen, I knew I liked this guy, and that had nothing that's taken that away. And I think the fight scene made it even better.
Solidified it for me.
Yeah. Of course. I want to see more.
Honestly, before the fight scene, he almost seemed a little bit frail because he's so like.
The way he
very peaceful in the way he talks and stuff, right? But
another Yoda a little bit. He's a little frail, but
but then we see him fight, and it's like, oh yeah, let's go. Yeah. For me, that's what I felt.
Okay, the last thing I want to touch on is Kelnaka.
Yeah, me too, actually.
Don't get me wrong, I get it. He's a Wookiee. But he's also a Jedi. So when you lead in with Kelnaka coming in screaming like an angry, raged Wookiee, and he breaks a weapon and he's charging at you like an angry, raged Wookiee. Yeah, I get no Jedi vibes off of him. Sorry, just can't find a way to pull that off. I think you could have pulled off the same thing with him still pulling that Jedi vibe. All you had to do is sit there,
in control of his emotions and whatever.
But tell me, if he just stood there, force pulled the weapon, broke it and then just started speaking like a normal Wookiee, like Chewbacca was having a normal conversation, would that not scare you more?
Yeah, I guess. But
I don't know.
So like this scene here, and like for me, when you see it, you gotta think though, like, so Kel Naka, his character description, he's a loner now. He's not part of the Order right now, it seems, right? Like he's not there.
That does seem like
Okay.
the case, yeah.
Okay, if that's the case, then I can understand. I didn't realize that.
That's what it feels like to me, right? Because this is like, so you think about it. So when they're on Brendock, there's the 4 of them. So this is like 16 years ago, right? So he's still part of the Order, I would say. But whatever happened on Brendock, he decides to walk away from the Order. I feel this is what happened, right? So now he's living on his own. He's a loner, lives in the wild again, right? So he's kind of like getting back to his like sort of beastly ways as a Wookiee, you know what I mean? I think when he was kind of, I think we'll see the difference with the flashbacks, and this is where I feel the flashbacks.
I could see that. I could see that. Like more reverting back.
I think he would have been more like tame and calm and all that stuff as a Jedi back in 16 years ago. But I think now, because he's out in the wild and he's just whatever. I just think that scene was funny because he takes the blaster, snaps in half, roars at them, they run away, and he runs. He's just like, and he runs into his thing, and the show ends. And like, what the heck was that?
Yeah. And that was the other thing. That's the end of the episode. It's like, it's like, wait, what?
That's funny as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, good introduction to Kel Naka.
Yeah, I would love to have, like, you know how I talked about this before with in the Book of Boba Fett when Black Chrysanthemum fights Boba Fett and like beats the snot out of him when he's naked in the back of the tank there, but then he kind of rallies and comes back and wins the fight. I would like to see something similar where this Wookiee beats the snot out of May, the soft assassin. I want it.
I'm not sure how to respond to that.
Apparently Swamp wants to see this girl being beat to a
Yeah, because I just don't believe that it's not believable to me that
she's not like flawlessly defeating these Jedi too, right? She's getting the crap kicked out of her too, like.
I mean, Indara is definitely being this.
Well, Indara, it's not Torben. I guess Torben was just a little bitch, but.
But come on, take away the fact that the only reason she got that kill was because Indara went to save the bartender.
That's true.
Yeah.
So you snuck one by her.
Yeah.
I mean, it's believable at least.
It happens in a case, apparently. Although I don't know why the bartender was still around.
Yeah.
Like, everybody else fled from the place. The bartender's still, like...
business as usual.
Cleaning his glasses and, like, oops, I dropped my glass.
Yeah, and then when she walks down there, he's there with his little kid, too. He's like...
Yeah, right, eh? She had a little heart for the little kid, so obviously there's some good in her. Or else she would have, killed both of them. But then, she gets the crap kicked out of her from Saul, which was pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah. It's true.
But anyways, that was that last scene, just the Kel Naka. I can't wait to see him, like we've seen him in the pictures and the whatever in his Jedi stuff, but I think it's gonna be neat. Like I don't know if he's displayed igniting his lightsaber as the Wookiee in the trailer. I'm not sure if he did or not.
I'm not sure if it's Kel Naka. That's the thing.
Oh really?
Because there's two Wookiee Jedi that they mentioned. There's Kel Naka and there's.
But isn't at this point there's two?
I believe there is. I can't remember the name of the other one though.
I do remember you saying that.
Yeah, I do feel like there's a scene in the trailer where it shows like a bunch of Jedi grouped together and they have their lightsabers out, but
I
I
didn't
feel
see
like
him there, I
that.
don't think.
No, I'm not sure. I can't specifically recall, but yeah, I'm not sure. I think that might be though, potentially on Brendock, like as like a
I think so, because I think when we
like a
see them
flashback.
together, it's a flashback of them on Brendock. I'm pretty sure, because there is the
think so.
Saul's got the short hair. So I think anytime you see the short hair Saul, I think that's the flashbacks.
Flashback. Makes sense. Makes sense.
Buryaga.
Oh yeah.
I was just looking for.
Yeah, now that you say that, I remember at some point talking about that. I don't remember if it was an article that we talked about before or something.
Yeah, Wookiee Jedi Knight of the Order, active during the High Republic era.
Yeah, I remember what it was. There was an article where the actor playing that was happy to bring a Wookiee that's not Chewbacca to the screen. That was the article.
But that's Kelnaka.
Oh,
That's Kelnaka who he's playing. I just don't.
Buryaga Agaburi.
Yeah, I don't.
yeah, but I remember the name from that article, so I'm not exactly sure.
From what I'm looking at here, Buryaga might all. I can't verify it, but Buryaga might already be dead by this point.
What did it say on Wikipedia?
I'm looking at. No, okay, proclaimed dead, but actually survived. So he could still be alive at this point, but I don't. He would be an older master at this point, from what I'm picking up. Well, no, it says he was affiliated with the Galactic Republic. Oh, that doesn't say anything, because that's still Jedi Order. That's still High Republic times. There's not a lot to say about him. So whether or not he's still alive is in the air. I mean, I know Wookiee can live to be, what, 200-300 years old?
He's a male Jedi Order who was active during the High Republic era, the apprentice of Jedi Master Nib Assek. The master learned.
You know what I'll bet it was? The article that I was talking about before. Maybe it's the actor who plays Kelnaka saying that he, read about Buryaga and wants to channel that type of Buryaga energy or something like that instead of Chewbacca.
That's
Maybe
possible.
That's what it was. Yeah. Could be.
I've got to say, if that was his goal, he failed in episode 1 or episode 2.
Yeah.
Because that was very Chewbacca.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Who 232 BBY?
Yeah, that's 100. That's at least 100 years before this episode.
Right.
These episodes.
So he was Padawan. Around that time, so possibly could still be.
Yeah, he would be very old by the Battle of Yavin. Kevin, I'm not saying he even lived that long, but
Buryaga went missing while fighting a Rathtar and was proclaimed dead, though he had actually survived. The search eventually succeeding after many weeks of still alive at that point. He could still be alive right now.
yeah. So, going by what I'm seeing here, I would love to see that lightsaber.
Right. Oh yeah.
Because I mean, look at the picture of his lightsaber. Well, no, it has a cross hilt on it. I mean, it's like gives me very much the
Like
could it be like a
a bowcaster?
No. What am I trying to say? What was the sword that
Oh, that High Republic one that that came out as a merch thing that you could buy recently. Is that the one that you're
No.
referring to?
What
Oh,
I'm thinking is
Like a long sword?
what do they call the long swords? Like the one that was in I can't. No, I'm not going King Arthur. I'm thinking more like
oh, a claymore.
Claymore. I'm thinking more like
right?
something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, like
Scottish.
Braveheart kind
Yeah,
of. Yeah,
thank you.
yeah.
It's like all those words were escaping me for that moment.
He was getting there. He was getting there.
But I could think
We
somebody
were
like
trying to help. We were trying to
Yeah,
help.
yeah.
I'm thinking like somebody like a Wookiee, like wielding something like that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I mean, it would be like anybody else with a regular sword. So you almost get the impression that it would be
Sure.
I would
beautiful.
say, because, well, I mean, if you think about it, like the size of a Wookiee, obviously he's a little bit bigger. His hands are a little bit bigger than a normal human. And then if you think about what Yoda's hilt was like
Tiny.
3/4 the size. Like it was really tiny, right?
He's basically using Shoto, if anything.
So just imagine, like I can imagine, you know, how Darth Maul's like sabers were together, like the length of the hilt. Like I can almost imagine like the hilt being that big, like,
Yeah.
double, like holding it like this, and like that's great.
Yeah. The
And then when I think
Gunji.
back,
Do you guys remember Gunji?
Yeah.
Gunji.
The
Well, that was
small,
during the Clone
small
Wars.
Right, but I was just gonna say we've seen that, you know, his hilt was like wood and tree sap and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
Remember? Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is something interesting.
but I mean, think about that. Like a claymore, wood, tree sap, kind of nature grown
gold.
into the idea of it, and I really want to see this lightsaber now.
Yeah.
I mean, because let's face facts. We all like lightsabers. We all have certain designs that we like, and if you can get your hands on a certain design, you would love to have it in your collection. And I'm very curious as to what his is now, because that might be the one that I sit there and say, have that.
I think it's cool.
Yeah, because right now, like I said, my favorite one is still Count Dooku's hilt. It's just something about the design of that hilt. It's sleek. It's crisp. I love it. I want one.
Yeah, the angle, like it's different. It's unique.
Yeah, and I still intend to get one before it's over. But I want to know now. I want to know what some of these High Republic ones look like.
I mean, I can imagine you go to like Galaxy's Edge and you get those legacy lightsabers. I can see them making stuff like as these shows keep going on and stuff. And these lightsabers have new hilts and all this stuff. Because you look at like Master Soul's like hilt, it's very. It almost looks very like pipish. Like it's very straight. There's not a lot of stuff on it, I feel. Like,
We haven't really even gotten a chance to look at it yet.
well, no, but there was a scene where like where he was talking to May or Osha, and like his saber was right there, and like the hilt was right there. And you could just tell it just didn't seem very over the top. It was very, very original, like very straight hilt, almost like I don't know, like Obi-Wan's maybe, like his.
I tend to think almost back to maybe even like Qui-Gon's.
Maybe Qui-Gon, or maybe
His was very straight in the way it was designed.
like even the Jedi. Well, I was gonna say the Jedi Temple Guards, but maybe the Temple Guards were not. They had a little bit of design on them, I guess.
Yeah, those were a little bit ornate.
Yeah. But anyways, if you look, you go back to like I think it's episode 2 where they're flying to wherever Torben is. That they have that little talk on the ship there, and you can see it kind of up close, and just look kind of normal, nothing really extraordinary.
Yeah, I might have to go back to that and see it, because Googling it here is being unsuccessful. It's not showing me nothing.
But anyways, yeah, I can see them making legacy lightsaber from the High Republic era now that it's starting to like become this thing now, the High Republic era.
Yeah. Also, I remember when we did have that that High Republic lightsaber that came out not too long ago. They specifically were saying the first of the High Republic lightsabers to be released. So,
yep.
As if to say they have plans for more.
Of course.
Oh, they put a lot.
They need to make money, right?
Yeah, they put a lot of time into this High Republic. I mean, given it hasn't picked up really, and I think they're hoping that this show will help that.
I think so too. Yeah.
But I think until they start bringing more TV shows into this era and start pushing back a little, that interest just isn't going to be there yet.
Yeah.
But I feel like they're kind of using this show as a way to kind of they're using the show obviously to bridge whatever they've been doing in the comics and the stories with the High Republic stuff, because all the stuff that's been like put out so far is stuff before the TV show right now, right? So I feel like at some point they're gonna put out some sort of story that kind of links into the show, possibly like with these characters and stuff. Some of them, right?
Yeah,
so,
it's fair. Could see it.
Which they like to do all the time with, they put out TV shows and movies and they make these short stories or things, to kind of bridge things, right? So it's kind of their thing. So, but
yeah, lightsabers. Let's go.
Let's go. Lightsabers. More. Let's go. Lightsabers.
Yeah, that other High Republic one that they had released or whatever. I never really realized this until just now, but it really reminds me of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. He's got that sort of.
I have the power.
The Sword of Grayskull.
Yeah, the Sword of Grayskull. That one. Yeah.
I have the power.
That's great.
All right, so if we covered everything we want to talk about here, or
I think so. I don't know.
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah, not too much else I could think of.
I mean, kind of a slow couple weeks, but I mean, we got some more shows to cover now, which is kind of awesome. So we'll be back, definitely be back in a couple weeks to at least capture episodes 3 and 4 of the Acolyte. Hopefully we'll be pushing in the right direction with that.
Yeah.
But until then, let's
well, and potentially if we do get some kind of hunters action, that might be a thing. We'll see.
Yep, that could definitely happen. I do want to sit here one more time and just throw it out there for everybody. If you are watching us and listening to us, definitely reach out to our socials, whether it be on YouTube, Twitter /X, Instagram, here on Twitch or on Spotify. Definitely give us a follow. Definitely give us a like if you can. It just kind of encourages us to keep going, doing more of this for you guys, because we're enjoying ourselves. We love what we're doing, and we just want to know that you guys are enjoying it just as much as we are. That being said, yeah, just thank you for paying attention and watching us and
listening to three guys just talking about Star Wars.
Or three random guys who you're probably still saying, who the hell are they?
That's right.
But that being said, Swampgrass, my friend, where can you be found?
So I'm on Twitch doing Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes content Monday through Friday at twitch.tv /Swampgrass420, and also doing some other content here and there with Marvel Strike Force, potentially Star Wars Hunters, and Mortal Kombat Onslaught. So
Nice.
Tune in there and find me there, guys.
All right, Andy Beats, how about you?
You can also find me on Twitch. Andy, what is it? Andy_beats. And yeah, I don't know. I have two different things. Like my social media is Andy Beats and the Twitch is _beats. Anyways, so yeah, so Thursday nights, I normally Thursday nights a Marvel Snap. So that's kind of my primary game that I play. But with Star Wars Hunters just coming out, we're gonna try to throw something like that and get that going. Hopefully with these guys here, so we can try to get some fun streams going with that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. A couple times a week.
All right, and I am Darth Eldor, and I can also be found on Twitch, twitch.tv/Darth_Eldor. Always playing. I'm back to playing Galaxy of Heroes again. Hopefully when Outlaws comes out, which by the way we didn't talk about that. Just gonna throw it.
Oh yeah,
I'm just gonna throw it out there.
August 30th, right?
It's coming out in August, and tomorrow is June 10th. And tomorrow afternoon, at some point, they're supposed to be doing a gameplay walkthrough. So if you haven't caught it, catch it.
Sick.
That
Pumped.
also interested in some. I didn't think I'd be interested in Hunters, but I am. So I'll be playing that with these guys as well. We're all gonna be having a good time, and yeah. Other than that, that's about where I am right now. That being said, that's 9 episodes for this season, guys. I think we're doing well. Looking forward to episode 10 in a couple weeks. We'll see you soon. Thank you again as always, and may the force be with you.